Howdy, this is Carrie Meldon, and we're here at another episode of Meldon Law and Friends, our weekly podcast. I'm sitting in for the Venerable Jeffrey Meldon, also my father. He's allowed me to take the reins this week, but he'll be back next week as usual. We always appreciate all of our listeners here at Meldon Law and Friends, our local podcast at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. If you haven't been to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill yet, please come by. The food is fresh, the freshest in Gainesville. They don't have any freezers. Everything comes out really fresh. And obviously they have some beautiful spots here, including this podcast room. You can see all of the helmets that Spurrier wore during his time as a Gator, as well as everywhere else that he coached and he played. And there's also a Hall of Fame that you can see behind the screen here. There's a whole bunch of different statutes and plaques that are incredible to review. So we always tell people, come on out to Spurrier's, check it out. You won't be sorry. Before we go to our guest of this week's podcast, I do have a few announcements I want to give everybody out there. As everyone knows, at Meldon Law, we help everyone in North Central Florida community that has been injured as a result of serious accidents. Our consultations are free, and you can come into our office and meet with us in person. Both Jeffrey and myself are usually in the office. If we're not out of town, we're here working away. We are local. We have offices in Gainesville, Ocala, Lake City, and Williston. We're really proud to be a trial law firm, meaning that we try cases and that we like to go to court. And we always say you got to be confident in the attorney that's going to be sitting next to you in the event that you do need to take your case to trial. Most of our cases we're able to resolve before trial, but we're willing to take the case if we need to all the way to court. If you wanted to download some of our free guides, including 7 mistakes that can wreck your Florida accident case, also buying Florida auto insurance, you can go to our website. There are free downloads of those guides that will help you navigate the aftermath of an accident without falling into common traps. It will also help you learn how to purchase insurance. So I would not hesitate to go to our website to download both of our free guides, 7 mistakes that can wreck your Florida accident case, as well as how to buy Florida auto insurance. We do have some really great giveaways this fall. Of course, it's football season. We are heading into the Texas A&M game this weekend at 3:30. Should be a really tight game. The odds makers have it around a 4-point spread, meaning that it's going to be within a touchdown according to Vegas. Who knows if they're right or not, but it should be a pretty tight game. And we love football season here in Gainesville, especially at Meldon Law, since we are the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. And as a tribute, we always try to give back to the fans something regarding football. In this case, we're going to be giving out 2 tickets for our Florida First VIP experience, which we've done for a couple of years now. And the Florida vs. Georgia VIP experience is incredible. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page, and you can enter to win 2 tickets to our Florida-Georgia game on November 2nd. This includes not only the tickets to the Florida-Georgia game, it also includes a 2-night stay in a riverfront room in Jacksonville at the DoubleTree in Jacksonville, and it gives you direct ferry access to the stadium. So you don't have to worry about driving to the stadium. You're going to get a boat that's going to take you directly to the stadium where the Florida-Georgia game is played. Not only that, there's a Ruth Chris Steakhouse at the DoubleTree, and we're going to purchase dinner for 2 for you to go have a great meal at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. If you haven't been to Ruth Chris, I implore you go there as soon as possible. We're also going to be giving away 2 passes to a Gator hospitality event. It's going to be great. Free food. They usually have drinks. They have a lot of different people that are out there that are influential in the Gator community. You will receive a Meldon Law Gator duffel bag filled with Meldon Law Gator swag. So when you go to the hotel, you'll already have a bag to put all your belongings in. And finally, you'll get a football signed by Coach Billy Napier. And with the emergence of DJ Lagway and the wide receivers and the running backs, maybe Coach Napier is going to be a national championship coach one day. So you can get a football signed by Coach Napier. All you have to do is, it's free entry, all you have to do to enter into the sweepstakes is tag the person that you want to bring along with you on our Facebook page. Comment below what you're looking forward to most about this year's football season, and then share this post with your Gator friends. You could do this on our Facebook or our Instagram pages. There is no other requirement to this contest. You have to be 21 years of age or greater to enter. No purchase necessary. The contest begins on September 4th, so it's already begun, and it ends on October 16th. So you still have about a little over a month to enter. One winner will be chosen October 17th and will be notified by direct message. Please do not click on any links that are sent to you or given away or give away any information to fake accounts. We will only reach out to you through the account, and that's the official Meldon Law Facebook account or the official Meldon Law Instagram account. So that's a great giveaway. The Florida v. Georgia VIP experience. The Florida versus Georgia VIP experience. We're also going to be holding a. It looks like our Fan Fest was last weekend, so this is not relevant to today. But we will be doing a few other events this month that I would like to talk about. One is the Gainesville CCA Florida 33rd Annual Banquet and Auction, September 12th at 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. This is an incredible organization. The CCA, the chapter of Coastal Conservation Association, this is their 33rd annual banquet at Legacy Park, and it's in Alachua. It's from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on September 12th. And this is a great event. If you haven't been before, they have incredible auctions. They have hundreds of things that you can auction on, or they're doing giveaways. They usually have really good food. They have drinks. They're doing auctions on. They have actually professional auctioneers that are auctioning trips to Africa, to Costa Rica, all over the world, California. It's really, really a cool event, and it raises funds to advise and educate the public on conservation of marine resources. And the objective of the CCA is to conserve, promote, and enhance the present and future availability of those coastal resources for the general public's benefit and enjoyment. The ticket, if you want to purchase one, you can on the CCA website. It includes a catered dinner and drinks, raffles and auction participation, and you get a year membership with the CCA. So you get to help preserve the Coastal Conservation Association and all the great things that they do. We're also promoting a volleyball ticket giveaway, UF versus FSU on September 17th at 7 p.m. We're going to be doing it just like we're doing it for the UF versus UGA VIP experience. Go to our Facebook or Instagram page for your chance to win. You just tag and follow, and you'll be entered into the volleyball ticket giveaway. There's also the annual Williston Fiesta, September 21st from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is the third annual Williston Fiesta at Homestead Park. It's free. Admission and parking is both free. It's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the 21st of September. It includes Latin dishes, arts and craft vendors, free Zumba classes with Celine, live music featuring El Grupito Wepa with Jimi Hendrix of Flamenco and Nicholas Marx. So I have not heard of these musicians, but I'm sure they're excellent. And finally, there's always going to be additional ticket giveaways on our Meldon Law Facebook page. So if you love Gator sports, head on over to the Meldon Law Facebook page for Gator ticket giveaways, including basketball, gymnastics, baseball, softball. They're all in full swing, and there's free tickets with no obligation. There is going to be another event coming up. The last event I'd like to talk about is the Meridian Behavioral Healthcare for the Steps to Wellness event. This is on Thursday, September 12th at 11 a.m. at the Best Western Gateway Grand in Gainesville, Florida. The address is 4200 Northwest 97th Boulevard, and it is 8th Annual Steps to Wellness Luncheon. The mission of the Meridian Behavioral Healthcare is to promote the health, recovery, and well-being of those affected by mental illness and substance use disorders through prevention, coordinated treatment, and supportive services. This year's luncheon theme is It Takes One Heart, One Life at a Time, One Community at a Time. The powerful theme underscores commitment at making a difference in mental wellness, emphasizing that meaningful changes begin with individual actions and extends to a broader community. The Steps to Wellness Luncheon has become a hallmark gathering where passionate individuals and organizations converge to exchange ideas, experiences, and inspiration about mental health. It is a pivotal platform for networking, learning, and mental wellness advocacy. The program will feature distinguished guest speakers who often will be able to offer insights and inspiration from their expertise in mental health. They're excited to share more details, including networking opportunities, a silent auction, and a great buffet. So it's an awesome lunch opportunity, September 12th at 11 a.m. at the Best Western Gateway Grand in Gainesville, benefiting the Meridian Behavioral Healthcare. So if you have any questions, give Condra Albury, the VP of Marketing, a call. Her number is 352-810-1055. And with that, we are done with the announcements for today, and we're going to invite our really special guest, a good friend of mine, Ben Raulerson, to the podcast after this break, and he will be talking about Long Drink and his involvement with this incredible product. So after the break, we'll be welcoming our first guest, Ben Raulerson.
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Carrie allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there. And I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hey, Sammy, look who's there. Say hi.
Hey!
You again!
Meldon Law, Jeffrey speaking.
Jeffrey!
Somebody else hit us here!
Yeah.
Here we go again.
After the car accident, your personal life takes a toll when you have major injuries. Being a mother of 3 kids, having to work, it became overwhelming. Didn't know what was going to be my outcome, but Meldon Law actually, they went above and beyond.
At Meldon Law, we're not just your legal team, we're your support system. You do not have to go through this alone. At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
We're back here at Meldon Law and Friends. This is our local weekly podcast we've been doing since COVID. It's been a great honor to be able to host this podcast today. I got a good friend on that we'll be talking to in a few moments, and we're here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. The food here is excellent, as I said before. If you want really fresh ingredients, what I was told when they first opened, I believe it's still true, they only have one freezer in the whole place, and that's just to carry ice cream. So all of their meats, all of their produce, everything is very super fresh. If you've eaten here before, you know the food is really good across the board. They make great drinks, and it's a happening spot. It's almost like you're in a Hall of Fame because there's so much memorabilia here.
I know.
And the really cool thing about it is that it's authentic. Spurrier's here at least 2 or 3 times a week. We may see him walking through at some point in the podcast. If so, we'll wave him in and make sure he
get one of these in his hand.
Get a long drink in his hand.
There we go.
Without further ado, I want to introduce Ben Raulerson to our podcast this week. Ben, thank you for showing up.
Hey, thank you for including me in this. I really appreciate it, man.
No, man. So I've known Ben. Ben and I, believe it or not, we've been friends for a long time, and we work out a lot together. Although I've been bad the last month because I had an injury, but I'm coming back soon. I've just been a little bit derelict in my weightlifting, but Ben, I've known for a long. I mean, God, I must have known you for at least 10 years.
I mean, maybe 15 at this point.
Maybe 15. Ben is a true ACR, even though he was not born in Gainesville.
Correct.
Actually, why don't you tell the folks out there a little bit about your background here in Gainesville and your ties to the community?
Well, so I'm originally from Brewton, Alabama. It's a small town north of Pensacola, about 50 miles. So we call that area L.A., Lower Alabama.
That's right.
As folks know it. Both of my parents went to the University of Florida. So, I grew up a Gator fan in the 90s, which was awesome.
Awesome.
Because we were up and both Alabama and Auburn were down. So school was fun growing up.
I'm sure.
And so it was a dream of mine to come to the University of Florida. And I in the summer of 2003, I made it down here and, love the college, but more importantly, I love the town. Mm-hmm. So after I graduated, I stuck around and I bought a house. So I'm officially an ACR by time spent and land ownership.
By land ownership for sure. And all your influence in the community. I mean, you've obviously your folks are really well known in the community and have been, here for a long time. And not only that, I think it looks like you started off teaching here locally at Buchholz
High School.
At Buchholz High School. So tell us a little bit how that began and what the interest was there.
Well, I was a history major. Went to grad school at Norman Hall. Got my master's education in social studies ed. And became a teacher when I was, I think I'd just turned 23.
Wow.
It's kind of funny. So some of my students that are still around, I know, we're basically the same age now.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of funny to run into them and they look old.
That really is
I'm
true.
Old.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Raulerson.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like,
call me Ben.
Call me Ben. You've earned that right.
Right.
But yeah, I did that. At the same time, to kind of make the ends meet, I started working at a bar in Midtown called the Salty Dog Saloon. I'm sure most of you all are familiar who's listening. Mm-hmm. It was pretty apparent, that one thing was paying the bills and one thing was not. Well,
the audience out there knows that the Salty Dog is one of the last true establishments
it is
of Gainesville. It's still around.
The building is still standing.
And I think
it leaks every time it rains.
It leaks every time it rains, but I remember you were throwing kegs around like they were like beach balls back in the day.
Yes. That was part of the job. You could pack so many people in that place, and especially on game day weekends. It was a time. I worked there for 11 years. Don't regret any of it.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, you met your wife Ashley there, right?
That's true. Yeah. I was bartending one night, and my wife I'm pretty lucky. She's 8 years younger than me. And she had been there a few times. I had served her a handful of times, and we talked. And I was very much about work and about my business. And then one day, she wrote her phone number on her bar tab. And me not liking to waste any time, I texted her probably about 30 minutes after the bar closed.
I love that.
And we went on our first date the next day.
And I know Ashley and Ben is a very lucky guy. So Ashley, if you're listening out there, you did Ben right. And I know that they have a lovely household that they still live pretty close to campus.
Yeah. Live, about a mile away west of Midtown and the Black Acres neighborhood.
Awesome. And so, obviously you spent 11 years at Salty Dog honing your craft, right?
So to speak.
Understanding all of the nuances of liquor and alcohol and beer and malt liquor. You knew everything, right? So you're like the expert of alcohol after your time at Salty Dog. You have to be.
A little bit. I would say that, we're more of a volume bar. I used to joke with, some of my downtown counterparts at downtown cocktail bars that those people are the real artists.
They are.
I like to think that I was mostly putting liquid into cups, but I was really fast, so that made it happen.
You figured out what was good.
Yes.
Hence why we're here today.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
We got to transition here at some point to why is Ben Raulerson sitting in Spurrier's today for the podcast room. And ladies and gentlemen, let's do the big reveal. He is now, let me get your official title, the North Florida market manager for Long Drink Company. Yes. So let's tell the listeners a little bit out there, what is the Long Drink Company?
So the long drink is a traditional beverage from Finland. It was actually created for the Helsinki Olympics back in the 50s. And in Finland, it's its own category. So if you're in Finland and order a long drink, it's the equivalent of going to a bar and saying, "Hey, give me a beer."
Right.
Your bartender would say, "Which one?" In Finland, it's a whole category.
Long drink is beer.
Yes, essentially.
In
Finland.
In Finland, right.
But so it became kind of a best kept secret in Finland. And so my bosses are all from Finland. They came over from Finland in late 2018, to bring the category to the United States. So they started very, very small. I'm happy to say that we're still completely independent. So we're not a part of a family of brands. Like the company I work for is, just the long drink company, and we're expanding. So we've built quite a brand, in the States. I sold, the first case in Gainesville about 3.5 years ago, and a lot of, the stuff in North Florida, I was really doing myself, and now have about 21 reps under me, and different parts of the
Unbelievable.
state.
I mean, you were on the ground floor. It sounds like right when it got right before COVID.
When when I started working for the company, we were in 7 states, I believe. Just gotten into Florida, and the story is quite, how I got involved is quite honestly, probably one, I love telling this story.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
It's really changed my life. But I was actually, on a vacation with some of my high school buddies, and I was in another field. And I wasn't really happy with it, so I was kind of keeping my eyes to the horizon, kind of looking for something else. I'd been a bartender for 11 years, worked for distributorship up until the pandemic. As like I was in charge of bars, restaurants, hotels. A lot of that kind of dried up in the pandemic. Kind of got to another field, but I was really I was always a hospitality guy, always, bartender type, always, and so I'm on this vacation, and a friend of mine from Atlanta, and Georgia was one of the early markets we were in. He, put a long drink in my hand because he had randomly picked them up at a convenience store, and he's like, "Ben," he was just like, "You sold," he was like, "You used to sell High Noon," and I did, I also sold some of the first cases of High Noon in Gainesville as well. So I kind of, at that point, the whole, seltzer, thing had kind of taken off. And he's like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" So I have it. I'm like, "Okay, another can," as most people do, right? And cracked it open. It was this one.
That's the original one.
That's the traditional Finnish long drink, what the whole brand is based on.
In Tiffany blue.
Yes. And honestly, it was the best thing I'd ever had in a can. And I was like, my goodness, like, what is this,
And you're the expert. Because he's been at the Salty Dog for 11 years. The expert says this is the best thing he ever has in a can. That's a very, very high praise.
Yeah, and so I, sort of on the advice of my wife, Ashley knew I wasn't happy doing what I was doing. And she said, hey, listen, if there's something that you're interested in, if there's something out there, why not inquire about it? What's the worst that could happen? So I get back to Gainesville, after that trip, and I'm looking for long drinks, go to Total Wine, go to ABC. I'm asking my friends that still work in the bar industry, my old boss at Salty Dog, hey, have you ever heard of the long drink? Downtown, Lillian's. Hey, Kevin, you ever heard of the long drink? Nobody knew what I was talking about. And so I was like, well, okay, well, this is really, really good. I think I know what I'm talking about here. So I looked up the company headquarters, found their email, and wrote basically, hello, my name's Ben Raulerson. I'm enthusiastic about your brand. Nobody in Gainesville, Florida knows who or what you are. So take this for what it's worth, but you're undermarketed. Here's my resume. Mm-hmm. And I was happy. I was like, hey, I tried, right? 3 days later, I get a phone call, from a guy who was putting a team together in Florida. His name's Jordan. He's no longer with the company, but he said, we got your email. And you want to work for us? It was kind of a question like that. And I said, yeah, I really like what you guys have. And I think that it would be really popular in Gainesville. But I'm telling you, nobody knows what this is or anything about it. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, it wouldn't be a full-time job, but we would pay you hourly to do some tastings for us and some marketing for us. What do you think? And I said, sure, absolutely. Well, I knew who I needed to talk to really get things going. I had some distributor experience. So one fateful night, I filled up my cooler full of long drinks. I'd gotten some samples from the company, put them all on ice, went down to downtown to Lillian's. Again, I mentioned it twice because it's the industry bar in downtown. It's where every bartender, every bar manager goes, to have a drink after they get off work.
It is.
And I knew, I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I told the bartender who I'm friends with, I said, hey, I'll pay you rent. I'll buy beer.
Was it Kevin?
Yes, it was Kevin.
All right.
I said, I'll pay you rent. I'll buy beer from you, but I want to put a cooler behind the bar. And anybody that comes in from another bar, I'm going to give them one of these. Is that cool with you? He said, yeah, Ben, do whatever you want to. I was like, that's great. That's all I needed to hear. And that night, I sat there for 4 hours, and as all the bartenders and bar managers were getting off work, I would just hand them cans. Try this. What do you think? And a week later, I'd gotten to 7 bars.
That's crazy.
And then the week
that's
after
really,
that,
it's not that easy. Not in this day and age where the distributors really own the bars. To get into these establishments are a lot more difficult than just saying, "Here, I have a drink. Can you sell it?"
Well, the good thing is that I have a lot. I'm very lucky to have a lot of good relationships and good friends that not only I'd worked with, come up in the industry with, but that whole class of people now owns bars and restaurants. Mm-hmm. And luckily, they had faith in me. They take my word for it. Knowing that I wasn't basically selling them a bill of goods, I said, this is going to be really good. Give it a shot. And after that and getting into a number of places. I mean, the first account that I got into was Salty Dog, my old boss. He's like, sure, Ben, we'll give it a try. Silver Q and then Lillian's. Those are the first 3. Then it was V Pizza. Then it started growing from there. Then it was Lucy's and all that. And after that, my manager at the time, he was like, I don't know what you're doing, but you just keep doing it, And so, I would work on referrals. I would go up to High Springs and I would do an event at the Pink Flamingo, and basically I'd get business cards. I would connect the dots and kind of, use referral marketing. I think another key, to the development of this brand in the town is I'm a member of a local B&I group.
Right.
And initially I was in a different seat, but I'd kind of learned a lot of skills from that. And basically, I learned how to referral network and connect those dots and make things happen.
You figured out how to do something. In this world, what I hear too much is why we can't do something, right? The market is too competitive. It's too hard to get in because there's so many, Southern or some other distributor is going to own this bar, and there's no way they're going to let me in. And there's always a reason why you can't do something. But what you are telling me is you weren't going to be deterred. You were going to find out how to do it. And ultimately speaking, you're sitting here today with not just the blue can, but you've got an Easter egg assortment of long drink in front of you, which we'll talk about the different flavors in a second. But I can tell you, I know, and I want to talk a little bit about how this company has grown, the influencers, everything like that. But, what you did starting that in that way probably is the only reason that it's as popular today in North Central Florida, because it sounds like this was a passion project for you, not just a job.
Yeah, it was, like you said, it was a passion project. It was a hey, this is my thing. I'm gonna try to make this happen. And honestly, when it's a brand like this, you always got free samples with you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
I'm tempted to open one right up right now.
They're cold. They're cold for a reason.
Are they all? Well, heck, let's open one. Before I do that, why don't you announce to the listeners out there and the watchers what flavors we have here before I mess them up.
All right. So, we've got obviously 6 types here, but we've got really 4 flavor profiles. So. This is a traditional Finnish long drink.
Love that one.
It's the flagship of the brand. It's what came from Finland and started the company. So in that same flavor profile, so this is essentially citrus soda and a London dry style gin. Mm-hmm. Think adult Fresca.
Great comparison.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that flavor profile, we have a sugar-free version of that in the white can, and we have a stronger version in a black can that's 8.5%.
That one you got to be careful
around that guy.
Yeah, that one is it's black for a reason.
It's delicious.
It's danger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but still nice and smooth.
Yes. Double diamond.
That's right.
If you put it in skiing parlance, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so our flavors. We have cranberry. And again, gin is the base spirit on all of these. So gin and cranberry soda. Peach, which we just released last year at the end of 2023. It's honestly been our MVP this year. It's performing so well that we actually, hit our yearly forecast about a month ago.
Congratulations.
We had to produce more. So the state was out of stock for a little bit, but
that's great.
But don't worry, we're back in stock now.
The Pappy Van Winkle of gin-based drinks.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then our most brand new release is pineapple.
I've not seen pineapple.
Yeah. So we came out with a variety pack called the Midnight Sun Variety Pack, and we released it as a limited time offer in at the end of June. So sort of, obviously Midnight Sun, midsummer is a big holiday in Finland. It's where you essentially have 24 hours of sunlight. And so it's very Finnish concept there, but we released this at the end of June. And it's like I said, a brand new flavor. And it's got a lot of buzz around it too.
I like to be hip and brand new, so I'm going to try that one. I think let me pass one over here. We're gonna, there's nothing. Is there anything better in the world than the sound of a crisply open can? I mean,
perfect.
I was talking during it, but
hey, it's all right.
Really, really good. And I'm not just saying it. This tastes. Very refreshing. It's it really is a great refreshing drink. So, we're talking about long drink. First of all, let's just give a little bit of historical information. First of all, what is the name? How did the name long drink come about? If you know that, and it looks like there's legend of 1952. So, what is the legend of 1952? Those are a couple questions I have for you.
Yeah. So 1952. Is the date of the Helsinki Olympic Games. So you've got to think, post-war Europe, Olympics are a big deal. A lot of people coming into the country from other places. The government of Finland was actually concerned with serving people coming in to watch the games, and so basically they were struggling with service industry people. So the government of Finland actually commissioned, the creation of a batch cocktail that they said, okay, instead of making people individual drinks, serve them this. And it actually became, so that's the roots of the very first long drinks. And it became so, popular in Finland that's when it grew into its own category.
Was it always gin-based?
It was, mainly gin was the first spirit, but there's other types as well.
Gotcha.
But the idea of making a single serve, cocktail style, consistent, like beverage, those have its roots in Europe. So while in the United States, where you've got like sort of the seltzer kind of craze, and we're not a seltzer,
No.
but we do get lumped into that category. But at the same time, like that's a very European thing. And what you'll notice about all of our types here is that they're all incredibly balanced.
It really is. The carbonation is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that tingle you get on the back of your tongue. It's
Right.
nice.
Well, and it's not too much. See, in the United States, we like extreme flavor profiles. Like IPAs are huge here. Sour beers are huge here.
Right.
In Europe, the pursuit is balance. So, the one thing that these long drinks all have in common, they might, some of them might have different, different flavor profiles, but they're carbonated, but they're not too crispy. They're sweet, but they're not too sugary. The idea is that, that it's a nice balanced cocktail to create something extremely refreshing and perfect for Florida because they're all great on a hot day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
On a golf course, you can't beat it.
That's right.
So that's interesting. So the legend of 1952 is post World War II Olympic roots, right?
Yeah.
And obviously the name long drink.
Oh, yes. So long drink, the idea long drink and the actual name for our company is Lonkero, which is actually the Finnish word for long drink. The reason it's called long drink is because the idea is making yourself a highball. You pour the spirit at the bottom, you pour the mixer on top to make one long drink.
Okay.
And that's where the name came from. So think of it as a sort of a loose, like European translation of like making yourself a cocktail.
Cocktail in a can.
That's right.
I dig it. It's really good. And I know you've been performing at a high rate. We'll talk a little bit about the influencers in a second, but you got some really exciting travel news coming up.
Yes.
And I don't know if you want to tell the viewers out there what you're going to be doing in terms of researching on your own the origins of long drink.
Well, I'm happy to announce, and again, this is another nod to our company, but we had a company-wide contest, where, basically amongst everybody in the company, the contest was who can get on more bar menus, special features, special boards, and it was a company-wide contest. The winner of which gets a all expenses paid week-long trip to Finland, and I'm happy to say that I won the entire contest, and I will be traveling to Finland in the middle of January.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. So it's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold,
right? Now, is it Helsinki? Is that the city that you'll be traveling to, or
we'll be spending time in Helsinki?
Okay,
but the founders of the company are from there, so largely they'll probably create the itinerary around that, and because they're local, it'll be a really like authentic experience.
Incredible.
I know we're not going to spend, obviously we're going to be doing some touristy stuff, but I know that they want to show us a time that we'll never forget, and it's going to be really authentic and something that they put together for us. And like I said, these are great guys that I work for, so I'm excited.
It's going to be an incredible trip. I mean, obviously, going to Finland is awesome in and of itself, but then
never been
able to, now you actually can know a little bit more about the origins and see how the locals take to it. But going back to long drink, I remember when we were at the gym, we're working out. You're showing me a picture of you on the phone on a Zoom with Miles Teller, who's obviously the famous actor from Top Gun Maverick, among other movies.
Yes.
And I'm like thinking, what the heck is Miles Teller on a Zoom with Ben Raulerson for? Tell me a little bit about how that came about.
So obviously, like with many brands, a lot of brands have celebrity endorsers or influence. Miles actually got involved in our company in a really, I kid you not, a really organic way. He actually came to a tasting that the founders of the company, and again, these guys, the founders of the company, they were performing some of the first tastings up in New York. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, Miles came in one day.
Just out of the blue.
Just out of the blue.
Yeah.
And wanting to know if he could purchase this in, I believe, California. And they were like, no, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Right? And so he literally, bought in. I believe, when he got married, he had some pallets at his, wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an investor in the brand. So it's not something that we didn't pursue him. I can say with confidence, like he found us, liked us, and to his credit, he's been great. If you've seen him at public events, a lot of times he'll be wearing his long drink hat.
Oh yeah, when's he coming down to Salty Dog in Gainesville to promote long drink?
I'm working on it.
All right, well, you better get me in if Miles Teller comes in, because I gotta see the movie stars in Gainesville. But no, but seriously, there's a lot of other celebrities that have really promoted long drink as well recently.
Yeah, we've got Ricky Fowler. He's an investor. Mm-hmm. Justin Thomas, and he's also an investor. Braxton Berrios for the Dolphins.
Sure.
And we recently got some investment from Marcy Ventures, which is owned by none other than Jay-Z.
Nice.
So we've got a lot of strong investment, and it's excellent because those folks are showing a lot of confidence in the brand, and it gives me even more confidence out there, selling it in different places in Florida.
Right. And I want to let people out there know that if you're scared of gin, which a lot of people are, this shouldn't scare you off. I've never met someone that did not enjoy a long drink, because gin can be a polarizing alcohol. You know that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Gin I often find is the most polarizing, because people either love gin or hate gin. I mean, in food, it's like olives.
Right. Exactly.
And you never meet
cilantro.
Right. You never meet anybody who's somewhere in the middle. They either love it or hate it. So like oftentimes, before anybody will take a sip, they're like, well, I'm not a gin person. And I'm just like, hey, just taste it. If you don't like it, that's okay, but just taste it.
Right.
And I can't tell you, it's like 99% of the time someone will taste it and be like, I guess I like gin now.
I love gin. Yeah.
But to be fair, it's a London dry style. And again, every part of this brand is proprietary. So we distill it ourselves. Mm-hmm. We also make the soda ourselves. So we make both to mix. Mm-hmm. The idea, again, is to create balance. So we don't farm out any part of the process. The idea is that our ingredients are complementary to each other. And that's why you get something that's not super botanical, but that is not, that doesn't have that pininess that usually people associate with gin.
No, it's really good. I mean, the pineapple you can taste, but it's not overpowering.
Right.
It doesn't own the drink. Mm-hmm. So it's really good stuff. We've got a couple minutes left before we have to stop this episode of Meldon Law Friends, but maybe we'll have you back. They always go so quick, right?
Yeah.
I told you, you get in here and time just fast forwards.
It's pretty quick.
It goes too quick. But I want to kind of know people out there. I want people out there to know, where can they buy long drink, first of all, in terms of the type of grocery stores, convenience stores. And is there any other, events that you'll be promoting long drinks, places where they can go to grab a long drink if they ever want to try it?
Yeah. So if you're a fan of long drink, or, are looking where to buy long drink, go check out our website. It's longdrink.com. Easy to remember. We actually have a zip code finder. So you pop in your zip code anywhere in the state of Florida, anywhere in the country, and it will tell you bars, restaurants, hotels, or liquor stores in your vicinity where you can pick up long drink. And not only that, is that under each of those designations, it'll have a can, and it'll tell you what type of long drinks they have. So you'll know going into a bar if they just carry the traditional or that they carry the traditional and the cranberry. So we have that tool that leads our fans and our customers to our distributor partners. And we'd like to think, we want to advertise for our distributor partners as well. Send our fans in and support those places as well.
Absolutely. I love long drink. It's a great drink. So we really appreciate you coming on this episode of Meldon Law and Friends, Ben. Obviously, your history here in Gainesville is well established, and I wish you the best of luck moving forward. Before we leave, I always want to ask, we got a big game this weekend.
All right.
We're playing the Texas A&M Aggies. They're coming to Gainesville. I want to get a prediction and see how close you can get.
You want to score?
I want a score and a winner.
All right. I say we got them 28-26. Lagway scores the winning touchdown.
There you go. 28-26. Ben Raulerson predicts a Florida victory with Lagway scoring the winning touchdown.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Ben.
It's my pleasure.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you again for seeing another episode of Meldon Law and Friends.